Hey friends, today's video is going to be on how you can draw this really simple aesthetic birthday card on Procreate in case you want to wish your friend or your family member. It's really easy to do and I will show you step by step. So make sure you subscribe and let's just begin. We're going to start by using a default A4 canvas size already available in Procreate. Then we are going to go to the wrench and switch on drawing guide. All this does is that it gives this grid which makes it easier for me, but it's completely optional. Next we'll go to the brush section and from the inking folder we are selecting the technical pen. And then we'll drag down the color to a perfect black. These are the settings. Now let's begin drawing. So now I'm just going to be drawing some lines to draw a very simple cake, which is really just a simple line art. Just 3 lines as you can see on the screen to form a vector art style of a cake. Then we're going to be creating a few curves on top for the top of the cake, which is just doing these simple curves. They don't have to really touch the ends of the cake because that's the beauty of this style of art. And then we're going to add in a few lines and a very simple flame on top of it for candles. Now that's the really good thing about this card is that you don't really need any drawing skills because they're very easy figures for you to just follow along to. So feel free to pause the video at any point in time if you feel that it's going a bit too fast, or you can always slow it down in the YouTube playback speed. Okay, so now we're going to work on the icing. This is again a very simple shape like this, a few mountains, or not really mountains, you can say overturned, melted ice creams I guess, and then just add in a few lines. Now this took me a few tries to get the perfect wobbly random icing shape, so always you can pause the video if you don't get it at your first go. And now I'm just going to be adjusting the size a bit. Now this part you don't really need to do, it just depends on how your artwork is. Also, if it sounds like I'm sick, well, it's because I am sick, so sorry if my voice sounds a bit weird. Anyways, continuing on, what we're going to do is draw some balloons. This is again a very basic shape. Just draw a wavy line like a snake and then freehand oval on top of it. You don't need to close the oval. Again, that's the effect in this kind of drawing. So we're going to draw a couple more balloons like that. Very simple shapes. It just comes at the first go most of the time, and you can just stick with that, or you can always go ahead and define it, and it may take a few tries. Like this particular balloon was a really stubborn one. It took me so long to finally get right, even though I edited out some parts here, but it took me quite a few tries to get it right. And then I just had to use the push from the liquefy section and all this, and I got it in the end at least. Next I'm going to be drawing some hearts. For this I'm using the symmetry tool, but you don't need to, and I realized later that symmetry tool doesn't really help, but drawing hearts has never been one of my strong points, you can say. So I just want to draw a few hearts like they're floating out of the cake, signs that you love the person whoever you're wishing happy birthday to. So I'm just working on this. I'm drawing a few hearts, 3 hearts actually, one bigger one towards the left side and 2 smaller ones towards the right. Next we're going to go to the wrench add section and click add text, and we're going to type happy birthday. Then what we're going to do is change the font. Now the font I'm using is actually not a default one. I imported it for free from a website called DaFont, and if you want to learn how to import fonts in more detail, then I have a video about that. I'll link that in the description. So what I'm doing next is I'm just trying to align the text so that they look good together, because I don't want them to be very bland. I want them to look good when I align them. So I'm just going to skip ahead, and this is the final way that I liked my text. So it took me a bit of time to find the perfect alignment, so you can copy mine or you can pause the video and do your own. So next what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding in some color. Now here's the thing, what happened is I typed the text in black, and that means that I can't really change the color. So all I did, but I wanted it to be in pink, so what I did is I just zoomed in and I dragged and dropped in the colors individually into each one. So I think I should have mentioned this before, but choose your colors wisely while you're typing the text, because once it's rasterized you can't change it that easily. Next I'm going to be adding some shadows to my text, so I'm just duplicating the layer of text. Now in case you're new or this is the first time you're using Procreate, maybe you're still a bit confused on duplicating text, don't worry, I have a beginner's tutorial linked in the description, so you can always check that out. So anyways, as I said, I just duplicated the layer and then I Gaussian blurred it by using the magic wand and going to Gaussian blur, and then I just adjusted it by using the arrow and moved it a bit down, and that's how I ended up with it. So again, I'm doing it for happy, so what I did is I just Gaussian blurred it and then I shifted it down. Okay, so next we're going to start painting because we're done with the sketch. Now I'm using from Art with Flow's free pack around watery brush, but in case you don't have that, then that's completely fine. Just go to the artistic section, and here you'll find a lot of brushes such as Old Beach and that Lara Pona brush. These are great watercolor substitutes which are already available for default in Procreate, and I use these all the time, so I would suggest that you also use these from the artistic section. Find the one which you like. I'm going to be shifting between that Plimsoll, the Old Beach, and you'll see as we progress in the video. Or if you have already downloaded from the internet any free brushes or paid ones of watercolors, feel free to use those as well. So next we're taking a golden color and I'm going to just start off with the background. So I'm just using different bright fun colors here like gold, pink, blue, and any colors that I feel will bring joy when you look at it, and I'm just combining all of those and using the smudge tool to just smudge them in. Okay, so now it's time to color in the hearts. For that, I'm going to be going back to the artistic section and using the hearts brush. Well, that's a coincidence. I didn't realize until now when I'm recording the audio. So I'm just using different shades of pink color, and you'll notice that I'm making the colors come out of the lines a bit, but yes, that's required. That's how this effect is in this style of artwork. We're not sticking to the lines, we're actually coming slightly out of it to give it more of that artistic effect, I guess. I don't know what it's called, so comment down below if you know what it's called. Also, while you're here, don't forget to share this video with your friends and family, like it if you're enjoying, and subscribe and drop a comment what you think and what videos I should make next. So now I'm using the Lara Pona brush from the artistic section, and I'm going to be, now you'll notice that the background is not there. You'll think what happened to that. Well, I just switched off that layer. I'm going to bring that back, but I'm creating different layers of background to create the complete combined effect. So now I'm just putting in more of yellow on the top, and then I'm going to take blue at the bottom. So now I just smudged in all those colors, and I'm using a free brush from Art with Flow, that's the watercolor brush. Now you don't need to use that, you can use any of that old beach one that I mentioned earlier, and several ones in that artistic section will give you a similar effect, so don't worry about it if you don't have it, because I want anyone to be able to do this who has Procreate. So don't worry if you don't have the same brush as I do, it's completely fine, you'll still get a very similar effect. So all I'm doing here is just adding in more shades of the same color and blending them in, creating new layers every now and then, combining Gaussian blurring, and it's just somehow I need to create an appealing background. Once again, what we're going to do is we're going to revisit that first layer that we had created, and using the arrow on the top, I'm just going to expand it so that it fits the full screen. And then I'm flipping it vertically, and I flipped it back because I didn't like how it looked. So if you feel you like it when it's flipped vertically, then keep it like that, or else take it back up. And then I lowered the opacity of that layer. Now this is all just trial and error. I didn't really know what kind of a background I wanted, so it just went with the flow, and that's why it's a bit confusing, but don't worry, it's just different layers of watercoloring random colors. Like here, I just duplicated it because I wanted to flatten the layer, but then later I didn't know what if I messed it up, that's why I wanted to have an extra. So next what I did is I just took that selection tool, and I am actually selecting an oval from the center. So I'm just going to cut out an oval from the center. I'm going to paste that. So here I actually did a bit of a goof up, and I did something where the white part got selected, I don't know, but right now I'm doing it correctly. So I just took the the selector, and then I did the ellipse, add, I selected, and then I just dragged and dropped, and there we have that cutout. So I just cut it and then I pasted it. So then what I did is I expanded it a bit, and then I decided to give it a slight Gaussian blur, a very slight one. Next is my favorite part, that is go to the luminance section, select Glimmer. You'll notice that nearly all my artworks have Glimmer. I just love it. It's like the icing on the cake, literally over here. So we're going to take a yellowish, goldenish, creamish color here and just randomly draw across the screen. And I'm going to take blue and do that on the bottom, pink on the right, just matching the colors with the background. And then using the light pen, I just added in a bit of highlights to the hearts because I wanted everything to shine and glimmer and sparkle. So next, to add even more color and luminance, I am going to duplicate the glimmer layer, and what I'm going to do then is I'm going to duplicate it and set the top one to the add mode. But then I need to reduce the opacity of that add mode because otherwise it looks like this, looks really bad. So I'm just adjusting it a bit and then I'm going to reduce the opacity down to about 17%. So you can see it just adds that bit of glow and life into that painting. Next, we're going to quickly color in the balloons and the icing. For that, you're going to go to your painting section and select the flat brush. But what I'm doing is I actually just have this Nico Rull. I just adjusted it and removed the texture. It's very similar to the flat brush, just a bit smoother. But if you don't have that, then use the flat brush from the painting section and choose any color that you like. I'm going for pink, and you just need to randomly color it in. It doesn't have to be very neat. Again, that's the excellent thing about this kind of a drawing. You're free, you don't have to be perfect while you do it. So just color in, and then we're going to add a bit of magic to it. Now the fun bit, that is we're going to be going to the magic wand, select noise in the cloud section, and we're just going to drag across the screen to create this glitter. So our icing looks like it's glittered up, and I really like that. And you can always adjust the color by going to the hue, saturation, brightness. Again, in the magic wand, you can choose whatever color you want. I'm going for a pinkish color because pink is my favorite color, so I find pink very appealing in most situations. You may not like it, so you can choose whatever color you want. So now it's a bit of refinement. So even though I said that you don't have to be perfect here, but still can't be very shabby because it looks shabby in the end. So it needs to look artistic, and that's why we're going to erase away not everything, but only things that make it look like you were careless. Next, we're going to be working on the candles as soon as you finish on the icing. For that, choose a yellowish color and the same flat brush and just color in all of the candles. Then we're going to add the glow. So go to the magic wand, the bloom section, and just increase the bloom to about 30%. And you'll see that natural bloom just gives it the fire and makes it look like fire. And then we're going to glitter it very slightly because I don't want it to look weird when it's glittered, but I want a very slight glittering so that it looks like this, shiny. Now I'm just repeating the process with a lighter pink. I'm just randomly painting across the screen and then noising it. So we're going to do that to fill in the rest of the cake. Next, we're going to work on the balloons. Now for the balloons, we're going to use any of the watercolor brushes of your choice. I'm using the Kohl brush. Again, this is somewhere in the artistic section. But of course you can use Old Beach, that's a very similar brush. So I'm using any color and giving it just about one layer of um, and of coloring, so it doesn't stand out too much but it looks good there. So I'm using different bright colors and just painting in the sides. It's okay if the balloons look transparent, that just adds on to the effect. So I'm adding in a couple of layers using the smudging here and there, whatever is necessary to make it look good. And well, yeah, so I'm going to repeat that process for the other balloons as well, and I'll show you the end result. So always you can pause this video and just quickly work on the other balloons. They hardly take a few minutes and then we'll be done. And well, that's it you guys. That's it, our card is complete. Our balloons, our coloring, our cake, everything is done. So make sure to type the name of the person whom you're wishing happy birthday to. And that's it in today's video. Hope you all enjoyed. Subscribe, share, like, comment. I'll see you all in the next one then. Thank you and have a great day. Bye bye.